A peace and blessings to you. My name is Jerry B. I am the Entremusician, and so are you. And most deaf is this wonderful young brother that we're bringing on to the podcast right now. This is Just Mike. He's in Cleveland by way of Tennessee, okay? All bark and bite. Strong Christian rapper who's doing it in the name of the Lord Jesus, and we're more than happy to have him on. Mike, what's happening, brother?
What's up, Jerry? Thanks for having me on, bro. I appreciate you. Yeah.
Man, it's my absolute pleasure. Back a few weeks ago, you were on our sister show, Artist Impact, and you came, man, you have some heavy duty music. And I was just so compelled, like, I got to reach out to that brother and bring him in so that we can know exactly what's making him tick and what's making all that music go off, man.
It's the Lord, man. It's the Lord. Trials and tribulations and just blessings from him just to get over and overcome. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
yeah, sometimes we get out here and we make it all about, oh, I got all the blessings. Well, I like to also let people know it's trials and tribulations and also that we just have to overcome. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, our condolences to you. We were scheduled a couple of weeks ahead, but in that time, you've lost your father, man, and your family
Yeah.
is just walking through that process. So our prayers are definitely with you. I appreciate you making time again, even with what you all are walking through. You know.
I appreciate that, Jerry, and thank you for your prayers. Definitely felt strengthened, and definitely felt that peace with the situation.
Yeah.
I got to be with him in his last few days, and just got to pray with him, and got to have that time with him. And really cool thing about it is months. You know how us men can be. We can be tough.
Sure.
So the whole time leading up to the situation, I'm talking to my dad, and he's telling me, "Oh, I'm fine, I'm okay,"
Yeah.
but I got to tell him, how thankful I was of him. I got to. Was just on me to let him know like what he, because what he meant for me just growing up.
Yeah.
And so I got to say everything I needed to say to him. So
Yeah.
anybody out there, don't hold back, no matter the rough times that you might have had with a loved one or even with a homeboy. If you ever feel like you gotta let that person know something genuine from your heart, just
Yeah.
go ahead and let them know, because you never know when it's their last day. And
That's
so
right.
yeah, so I got to send them off with peace, and I got to get everything off my chest, and I'm just thankful for that. So
That's a
thank you.
blessing. Absolute blessing, man, right there for sure. I noticed that, in working with so many different artists, most of the artists, maybe that's an overstatement. There's several artists that that this artistry, their music is their craft, is what they do. And they are a songwriter or a recording artist, yet, you know, in their life they're somewhere else, but your music is so intertwined with who you are that it's
Yeah.
not just something that you do. What is that thing, man, that makes it so intimate for you, with the lyrics you write, with the beats you choose, and just your whole presentation?
Well, I mean, for me with music, the only reason I'm doing it is because I feel genuinely called to do it from the Lord.
Yeah.
If I'm just gonna be all the way honest with you, you know,
All the way.
yeah, just I'm not gonna say I have just like a perfect life or nothing, but I don't mind going to work, doing my 9 to 5, helping out with the ministries that I do help out with that have nothing to
Yeah.
do with music. So when I say I felt called to do music, it was literally a thing of God just introducing people and and different people and places into my life that was just kind of pushing me to pursue it even more. So even with sitting down and writing music, when before I start, I make sure that whatever's on my mind, whatever's on my heart, that that's what the Lord wants me to put down. So
Right.
I mean, I like how you use intertwine together,
Mm-hmm.
because my music is I mean, with being a rapper, that was the main thing. You got to be
Yeah.
real, be
Yeah.
100, keep it above
Right.
50. You know,
Right.
so I mean, that's what I feel like the Lord just kind of lets me puts on me and lets me know that He wants me to do, is to be transparent, to be vulnerable, to
Yeah.
be transparent, to be vulnerable, to be honest, to set, my trials and tribulations, like I said, but also the overcome the blessings that come from Him, within my music as well, and that's
Yeah.
also within my day to day life. You can't always just sit around and just think about how your boss made you mad when the following day your boss could, I don't know, maybe not talk to you that day, and that,
Mm-hmm.
and that can make your whole work day better. Or I mean, your boss could just kind of let you know, like, hey, things got heated, and but don't worry, you're still a stand up employee. We just had a disagreement, things
Exactly.
like that. Could
Yeah.
be a blessing. Just
Absolutely.
taking that weight off of you sometimes. So,
Yeah.
I try to put all of that in my music. Try to put, the past that I come from, where the Lord has brought me now,
Yeah.
into my music, and just be real with people.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Certainly. Well, that's real. That's on point. Can you tell us how long you've actually been in the music industry? I know that you are not a native of Cleveland, Ohio, born in
Right.
Middle Tennessee, but did you start music in Tennessee and bring it to Ohio, or what happened there?
I did music. I was rapping way back in the day, probably like
Okay.
2000, 2008, 2010, a little
Mm.
bit of, like 2012. I would say it's like really when I just gave it up. Um, and so, no, so actually, I was done with music, honestly. Like I said, I was in a career I was happy with, living a life I was happy with, and everything. And so, when I was here in Cleveland, that's what I mean by, like, I felt like led and pushed to
Okay.
get back into it, because
Hmm.
it took a lot of convincing from my wife to friends that was around me, to the studio I go to, that is truly something that I needed to put my time and my effort into. But I mean, it was really just like the Lord just led me down all these different paths, even to the sound of the music that I have. I mean, it wasn't, I hate, I don't want to say like, oh, it just dropped in my lap, but at the
Mm.
same time, it was just kind of like I got introduced to one guy, this young kid, this younger guy,
Yeah.
and he just started making me beats without me asking him. He just started making me beats, giving me beats, and just coming over my house, and we started working on music together, and it just all came together like that. So
Wow.
I mean,
Wow.
so I mean, the short form to answer it, it was literally just like I was here in Cleveland, and God just started putting me in places to just do music and try to take it serious, and just, yeah. So that's why
Yeah.
I'm here doing music now.
That's very cool. What are you learning about the music industry? As because 90% of the time, most musicians are just thinking about the music itself, the quality of the music, but actually the transactions, the streams, the business of music, being that entrepreneur. What are you learning?
I mean, I would say, one, keep some kind of schedule. keep some keep some kind of schedule. I mean, and I say that because I was a guy that never kept a schedule, you
Uh
know.
huh.
But you try to keep a schedule. One, um, with being an independent artist, I don't have a team of people around me
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
anything
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that. I do everything myself. So I try to keep a schedule as far as like if I'm going to release a song, then I'm going to take these steps within these days to do it. It could be a week or it could be a day. And those steps are all the business things that lead up to the day that the single comes out or the day that the EP comes out. So it's
Right.
things like making sure that my BMI is taken care of, making sure that my sound exchange is taken care of, making
Exactly.
sure that I get have everything right with DistroKid from all of the IRSC numbers to UPC numbers, and
Right.
you got to make sure that you got a notebook of keeping all those numbers together just in case technology can crash at any moment. So
Right.
as far as with the business side, just trying to make sure that everything's in line as much as I can get it before I put a song out there, because you
Sure.
never know with streaming where that song is going to be played across the world, or the
Absolutely.
or the potentials of where this song could be played if you have everything in line. And all it
Absolutely.
takes is just one email from a place in Germany
Right.
that's asking for this number,
That's right.
and because you don't have it, then these people in Germany aren't going to know that, hey, this guy's making music in America. So
Exactly.
I just try to take those steps. I try to take that serious as much as I can
Yeah.
before I put the music out. And yeah, man. So on the back end, with doing everything myself, I have a somewhat of a schedule system that I try to do before I start putting music out. And I try to make sure that that stuff is done
Yeah.
before I even put a release date or anything. I just try to get those things in line, because
Absolutely. No,
yeah. So
that's right. Is our friend in the Entree Musician? His name is Daryl Looney. He's a metadata strategist, and
yeah,
in our community, he preaches that. He makes sure that your metadata is on point, like he said, everywhere it goes. So that's
yeah.
what's happening. But now, with respect to that too, with the metadata, with the recording, with the schedule, are you performing anywhere? Are there any managers or anybody that's helping you put gigs together, or how is that going for you?
Nah, man, I ain't got no managers.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, I ain't got no managers. I ain't got
uh,
nobody really helping. As far as performance go, it's word of mouth, or
mm-hmm.
it's usually they just heard a song or see me. Okay, I tell you. So the way I got my first performance was actually they was doing a back to school event here in Lorraine, and my pastor actually had reached out and said, "Hey, I know this lady who's putting this back to school event. She's looking for somebody to perform. Would
Yeah,
you want to go and rap?" Yeah, I'll go and rap. Totally did it for free. I didn't ask for
understood.
nothing to back to school event. Um, then, I started putting more music out there. People would just hit me up on social media, ask me if I would come to rap. Well, now within the second year, the lady that I did the back to school event for last year, she hit me up again this year. She wants me to come and do it again. And this year they're gonna pay me. So look at that. Sometimes you do something from the heart, and you
Sure,
never know
sure,
how it comes back for you. And
absolutely.
yeah, so just try to hit some open mics whenever my work schedule isn't in the way.
Yeah,
That helps sometimes. Hit an open mic. You never know who you might meet while you there.
true, true.
Yeah, so just try to be out there. But my whole thing with performing is, I try to make it an experience where I get to go and proclaim Christ.
Yeah,
Before I put my music out there, I just be excited that
yeah,
that God gave me the opportunity to
Absolutely.
proclaim him, in front
Absolutely.
of people, and you never know how that's going to reach somebody else. So that's what I get out of performing. It's just like,
Yeah.
man, I went from trying to show everybody I was a thug, or I had all the weed or something like that,
Right.
to
Right.
God's put me in place to where I can say, hey, Jesus is real. He's here for all of us. He changed my life. He can
Yeah.
change yours. And so, things like
Yeah.
that is what gets me jazzed about performing. Yeah.
That's absolutely excellent, man. That's a beautiful, beautiful answer, man. So you got your business hat on, you got your artistry hat on, but you
Yeah.
also are serving the kingdom in a prison ministry. So
Oh,
you're volunteering with regard to that. Tell us about that aspect of who you are.
yeah. So, Kairos,
Kairos.
Kairos. You can
Mm-hmm.
look us up. It's Kairos of Ohio. Um, it's not .com.
Okay.
It's I think it's kairosofohio.org. You can put in Kairos of Ohio Prison Ministry in your Google, and it'll pop right up. But yeah, so the prison ministry that I volunteer on, we go in at least we go into Grafton Correctional at least once a year, sometimes twice a year. But we go in for 4 whole days.
Okay.
And within those 4 days, we have, the chaplain. He picks out, anywhere from 30 to 50 of some of the most hardened guys there. These are guys, some of these guys are doing life, some of these guys have been there 40 years, and we go in, and we have special talks with them, but we also have more intimate, sit down times with them, all at a table, and
Yeah.
we just let them know that, hey, we're here to serve you. First off, we're here to show you the love of Christ. We're here to be your brother. We're here to let you know that if you have the opportunity to get parole, to get out of this situation, that you know you have forgiveness from the Lord first, and there are men out there that are willing to give you forgiveness and give you that second chance.
Yeah.
That don't think that this is the end all be all for you,
Right.
because with the Lord, you always have that second chance, and you always have that forgiveness. So
Yes.
that's just a little bit about what we do with the prison ministry. We do
Yeah.
other things, like we're also known as the cookie ministry, because
Mm.
we go in with thousands. I think the last Kairos that we did last year, I think we had 16,000 cookies,
Oh
and
wow.
yeah, yeah, and we feed everybody in the facility, from the guards to the residents. We
Yeah.
feed everybody there at least a dozen cookies. We do different little programs with the cookies. That's based off of not only showing them forgiveness, but also
Yeah.
giving them a chance to to be forgiven themselves from somebody that they may have done wrong. So, like, we
Right.
have it for one of the days. We give them 2 dozen cookies. And so, like, they have to go to somebody that they did wrong, and they have to give them a dozen cookies and ask for their forgiveness. And
Understood.
they have,
Wow.
yeah, they have to do that with two guys. And so the following day when they come back, we just kind of ask them, like, so what did that feel like for you, to not to ask for somebody's
Yeah.
forgiveness,
Yeah.
and we do different things like that with them, and just like I said, let them know, like, hey, people out here, care for you, and this ain't the end all be all for you.
Right.
You have a chance, and so
Right.
yeah, that's kind of what we about at Kairos, and hope anybody checks it out. If you like to make a donation, you can do it on the website, or you could just hit me up on my Facebook, and I can show you how, if you confused or anything like that. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's a big part of my life, and something I take very serious. I'm actually on the board. I'm actually on the council of it, where I, yeah, where I, I'm in charge of the fundraising. So I get to put, dinners together, different events together to try to help us raise money. So it's been really cool. It's been
Man,
really cool.
that's absolutely excellent, man. I knew I had to ask about that. I saw that in your bio, and again, I know that's woven into who you are, and that's what makes you so real, man. But let me ask you, with respect to the community in Cleveland, is there a Christian rap community in Cleveland, and how is that thriving, or what needs to happen to move that forward?
Man, that's a good question. Now, I'm glad that you asked me that question. Before I answer that question, I don't want to make anybody upset that might be watching this, but
Sure.
I'm gonna be honest. It's a lot.
150, right? 150. Keep it
Buck
150.
50, baby. Buck 50 for sure. But yeah, man, it's a lot of us Christian rappers here in the Cleveland area. But are we a community? No, we're
Mm.
not a community. I don't really see um, us pulling together um, a lot. Now I know a lot of times with us doing ministry, we have different things that we do and that we're called to do.
Right.
But I would like to see. I feel that we could come together better, and really truly be a community. I think a lot of times, and this is anywhere. This is any church. This
Yeah.
is any place in the world, any society, any school. A lot of times it's cliques, it's
Yeah. Sure.
pockets.
Sure.
You know,
Sure.
and
Unfortunately.
I mean, and sometimes that's just who you're familiar with. I'm not knocking that,
Hmm.
but I definitely think with all the Christian rappers, people doing Christian music that I've met, that we could be helping each other more to help bring people to God.
Yeah.
But it's something that I just don't talk about. I
Yeah.
try to help. Yeah, I try to reach out to other guys to like this back to school event. True enough, they called me and they asked me, but I reached out to another guy, great talent, Delamaz,
Oh
I
yeah.
reached
Yeah.
out to
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I reached out to him and I was like, hey man, I got this opportunity. I would like for you to do it with me. I try to practice that. If I get an opportunity to do something that, somebody else um, you know, maybe didn't know about, or maybe just, you know, I just try to reach out to different guys. If it's
Absolutely.
something that I can't do, whether it be a scheduling issue or it's just something that I don't feel led to do, I'll ask the person, the promoter, the event coordinator. I do know somebody else that would probably be interested, and
Yeah.
if you would like, I can make that connection.
Yeah.
Just try to help other people, because this ain't about me. This ain't about trying to get my music heard. This is about bringing people to the kingdom. So
Yeah, man.
I try to reach out, bring people along, when and where I can. And
Right.
if I'm not there, I try to let other people know, like, hey, it's an opportunity here in Cleveland. If you hop on it, I know you'll do a great job.
Yeah.
So I definitely think we could, like, pull together better to help each other, and but most of all help people know, like, hey, one, Christian music ain't all corny. I just want to say that all
Oh,
Christian
that's true.
rappers
All right. Come on.
ain't corny. I just want to say
Absolutely.
that. But
Definitely.
yeah, but just kind of help my brother. You know what I'm saying, or my sister. If
Absolutely.
if and when I can. So yeah.
Absolutely. No, that's beautiful. I'm glad I asked. You're right. In all kinds of genres, I think maybe heavy metal, rock. There's a community among bands, man. But a lot of times, even among jazz bands, which is closer to where I am, there's cliques and sets and whatnot, and nobody really tries to integrate. On,
Right.
on different levels. There's different levels where I think the higher the level, the more the community. But down here
Yeah.
on the ground, when we're supposed to really be getting it and trying to make that sandwich together, it could be kind of separated. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Sometimes it feels like we're all scratching and crawling and pushing each other
sure,
so that
sure.
it can only be just one of us.
Sure, sure. Which
And
is not the motto. That is not the
it's
motto.
not. It's
You
not.
know.
And I mean, sometimes, and then I just look at it like this: if you know, if I was to help a brother, somebody, a talented, you know, well-deserving brother, you know, be able to push him and his talent and his message out there, then I'm going to be happy for him, regardless of
Understood.
where I am. You know, I'm going to
Right.
know, like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, it took all of us to
Yeah.
push that brother. Whether he looks back at me and says thank you or he doesn't, that's
Right.
not the point. The
Right.
point is that this brother got to be somewhere, and
Yes.
it took it, and just to be an example of, it took a team to get him there. You know, it wasn't just him by himself. You know, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I really truly do believe in that. You know, because I think sometimes we can be selfish. We think about
Understood.
ourselves, and I just try to be I try to, you know, be an example of not of self of serving and being selfless and not
Yes.
selfish. So yeah,
Man.
that's something that's
Well,
on my heart real big.
well, that's absolutely why I knew I had to get you on the podcast, man, and just have a conversation with you and just let you settle in a little bit more because that particular show is a little bit more regimented for what it is with the videos and the panelists and
Yeah,
whatnot, you know. But I'm grateful that you took the time to come out and share with us what your heart is and what your ministry is. Another question that I have for you
what up?
is with respect to the day job and with respect to the artistry really growing legs, what is the vision totally? Are you seeing yourself walking away one day from the day job, or is this just something that you're going to do until maybe something else comes along? How do you feel about the music to that degree? It is a calling. You said that. So I'm just trying
Yeah,
to put that back out on the table.
man, Jerry, I appreciate you, but I don't appreciate you asking me such a serious
I
question.
I gotta go. You said $150, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pitch
I
you
hear
at
you.
you, baby.
In all honesty, I'm still trying to figure that out. I'm still weaving through things. I'm still deeply in prayer to see what the Lord wants me to do. I
Yeah,
can't I can't can't lie about that. You know,
yeah,
I'm just trying to see what the Lord wants me to do, what the Lord is putting on my heart to do.
yeah,
Um, like, you know, I know, like, the next step is to put this album out. I mean, I still have some some finishing to do on the album, just mixing, master, and stuff like that. Um, I don't to be. I'm just trying to make sure I'm in line with the Lord, man.
mm,
If that
understood.
means, yeah, if that means quitting my job and doing this full time, then I'm going
Hmm.
to trust in the Lord. If that's what He's
Sure.
telling me to do.
Well, let's
Yeah.
let's let's go even deeper though. What are you hearing? What are you hearing right now? Are you
What am I hearing
is it
right?
yeah, is it too early to say? I mean, what are you hearing right now? What is the pull of your heart? What do you feel Holy Spirit is saying to that regard?
To get my house in order and put this album out. That's what I'm hearing. To get my house in order and put this album out. You know, that's something about the Lord that I really do love. You know, He knows me. He knows me. He knows my household. He
Yeah,
knows not he knows what I can handle, and what I can't handle. You know, it's true what they say. The Lord is only going to do what you can handle. And so right now, he knows that pretty much getting my house in order, making sure I'm continuing to seek Him before anything else,
yeah,
and everything that I've made music wise, Not to say it's secondary right now. It's secondary. Not to say like it's just, you know, is it be still, just be still, and learn to trust him. You know,
That's so cool.
I kept rushing different things and trying to do things my way. And one day, just the Lord showed me where I had been vain, and I had kept moving without Him. And so I'm just at a place of just being still and just continuing trying my best to just seek Him and just get my house in order. And and the music will be there, and the music will go where He wants it to go.
Yes, sir.
So
that's
that's where it's at.
That's real good, man. Well, I had to pinch you in there, you know, and you gave me your heart, so that I really appreciate that, man. So I know that you have done interviews before. I know that you are hip to, okay, well, I know they're going to ask me this, but for some reason I didn't ask you that question. What would you want the listeners and the viewers of this podcast to know about you that I did not ask you?
I mean, first, to know about me,
or your music.
I'm a flawed Christian, baby. Don't think that. Don't sit here and try to watch this and think like, oh, this guy got it figured out. No, I don't. I'm still learning. I'm still trying to learn. I'm still wanting to just try to be a better man. And I think you hear that in my music when it goes to my music. I think you hear that in my music. I think I put that out there for you to know.
Yeah.
So just if you take anything away about me, just know like this is just really who I am, and I hope you just check out my music, you know.
Yeah.
And I hope you check out the prison ministry also, because we do need those funds. We do need those funds. So, but
absolutely,
on a serious level, yeah, man, just know, like, you know, ain't none of us out here perfect, and all of us have our issues or have our baggage or have things that we have to overcome. And I'm still a man that's doing that as well. I'm just trying to, you know, make sure that I put it on paper what the Lord allows me to put down and give it to you to inspire you or to help you overcome whatever situations you may go through. So, yeah.
That's what's up, man. Well, this is Just Mike. Just Mike is fresh out of Cleveland again by way of Tennessee. He's making it happen. You can reach out to him at Just Mike 216 and check his YouTube channel out. Check out the streaming. Check out all the vibe. You're going to absolutely love what you hear. And if you've never dabbed into Christian rap before, if you're just curious about it, I mean, now we're like 30, 40 years strong on it, but there may be someone who's listening who's curious about it. I would encourage you to check Mike out because, hey, he's just who he is. He's just Mike, and I really dig it, man. Thank you so much for being a part of the podcast today, brother.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you for asking me, man. You just reach out anytime, man. I love to keep on making those inspiring videos on Facebook too. I'll be listening. Yeah, man.
I promise. Yeah, this is what we do. This is what we do, and this is why we're here, man. And I'm grateful because what we do allows me to meet brothers like you, and for that I'm extremely grateful, man.
Amen.
Absolutely. Well, peace and blessings to you. And that's going to do it for this episode of the Entremusician podcast. Definitely check us out. Share this video, like it, love it. Tell everybody you know and tell 12 people you don't that you get down with the Entremusician. I love having conversations like this. That was just Mike. As you could tell, he's an Entremusician, getting his data together, the metadata, everything that he needs, because he's on the launch pad to greatness. You'll hear him and see him again. My name is Jerry B. Peace and blessings to you. I am the Entremusician, but most importantly, so are you. God bless.